We holding everybody accountable, including our fellow Asians. Shout out to my Chinese out here in the building. He said, Anton, how do you know he's Chinese? Because I was able to read his name. I was able to read his names. Y'all don't speak Mandarin or Cantonese? Ni Kwei Shua Potong Kwa Ma? Wa Kwei Shua Idiar Potong Kwa. Wa Shou Da Bu Hao. They say, Anton, you just speaking gibberish. Oh, well, go and chop this up, play it in the translator, and see what it is that I just said. Just because you don't know how to speak another language don't mean that Anton from AntonDaniels.com does not know how to speak another language. Does not mean that Anton is not multicultural and know how to speak another language. Yes, I can. Yes, I can. Yes, I can. Ni Kwei Shua Potong Kwa Ma? That means, do you speak Mandarin? Wa? Yes, I do. Wa Kwei Shua, I speak it. Wa Kwei Shua Idiar Potong Kwa. I do speak a little bit of Mandarin. Wa Shou Da Bu Hao. A little bit. I can speak it a little bit. Just a little bit. Yes, I can. Make sure y'all get y'all likes up for the algorithm and subscribe to the channel. Yes, I can. And I speak it fluently. Take me over to China with you. I can translate for you. I can get you there.
All right, new tonight here at 10 o'clock, a pretty incredible story of a family of three wondering why their baby daughter kept getting sick and why they had a strange odor in their home. Was it their apartment? Was it the water? Well, when they saw this, a man injecting some sort of chemical through the bottom of their door into their home, they knew their lives could be in jeopardy. Fox 13's Jenny Lewis is here with us in studio tonight.
Did you see how fast he did that? Thank God we got cameras and stuff today. Thank God we got cameras. Yeah, you know what I'm saying. You know I know what I'm talking about. You know I know what I'm talking about. Shout out to Tough Topics Podcast. Shout out to Tough Topics Podcast. You know I know what I'm talking about. Yeah. Yeah. Thank God we got cameras nowadays, because now we have the ability to be able to catch each and every individual that is not doing what it is that they're supposed to do. Isn't this one of the most evil? When I keep telling y'all that it's spirits in the air, it's spirits in the air that's doing some of the most evil things that you've ever seen in your lifetime. I am not capping. I'm not capping. Somebody, listen, why would you do this? Why would you do this? And why would you continue to go back to the same place over and over and over and over again? Why would somebody walk over and then try to inject chemicals into a neighbor's door that has children? You got to go up and set up a camera to try to see what the heck is going on, because it happens so fast that you don't even know what the heck is happening. That's crazy.
This story, Janae, we're speechless here.
Yeah, it's hard to watch that video and not feel any other way. The family says the excitement they had of moving into their new home quickly turned into terror, and you saw why. As a frustrated neighbor took his concerns too far, now they're afraid to be inside that very home.
It is extremely scary.
Umar Abdullah says it's very difficult to talk about the last few months. He says it started with complaints from a downstairs neighbor over noise.
So after my daughter was born in August last year, his complaint, like footstep complaint, drawer closing.
But escalated to this.
I installed a hidden camera outside because we were suspecting someone is basically tampering our place from outside.
Smart man.
And then we caught our neighbor injecting something through our door.
He says a friend noticed an unusual chemical odor in their home in May. They checked the appliances, hoping to determine the source of the smell, but couldn't. A month later, Umar says his eyes started to burn and his daughter was coughing and throwing up. He says the smell had returned, so he checked the water heater nearby, finding a strong odor.
I was bending down. I sniffed all through that place. And
after replacing it, Umar says the odor and discomfort returned. This is when he set up the hidden camera.
On June 27th, I found that our neighbor is coming with a syringe. He's pulling something from a vial and then he's injecting through our entry door. If we could not have found that incident on the camera, probably after a few days, we might have been just dead.
He called.
That's crazy. That is crazy. Yo. So the people in Chicago was using switches. And then the people in Florida is using chemistry in order to go over there and destroy different people's lives. So because you don't like your neighbor, you walking over and you regularly on a daily basis injecting chemicals in their door that then affects a whole entire family. And this is insane. Shout out to Florida. I got to bring you to the front of the congregation. Shout out to Florida. I got to bring you to the... This is evil. This is evil. This is just as bad, if not worse, than the people in Chicago. This is evil. And he's doing it on a regular basis, meaning that he knows that he's taking people's lives and he's affecting their health. And you don't know what he's injecting. You don't know what the long-term ramifications of it is. You have no clue whatsoever. And because you don't like your neighbor, this is what you're doing? And y'all don't think that this is demonic?
Called police, and records show Zooming Lee was arrested and charged with multiple counts of battery and possession of a controlled substance.
No. That's not enough. That's not enough. I need attempt murder on that rap sheet. I don't want no battery and possession of a controlled substance. I don't want none of that. I want attempt murder. I want everything else on that thing that you can. Because if it was somebody else, they would be throwing the book at him. If it was somebody else, they would be throwing the book at him, and then you get that lawyer with them slide-ons, them slip and slides on, that's coming there talking about, yeah, man, I think you should just plead guilty. Wait a minute, you didn't even review my case. Yeah, but I think you should still plead guilty. Then you walk over to the next person. Yeah, so I think you need to plead guilty. Walk over to the next person. Yeah, so I think you need to plead guilty. I'm sorry. Are you going to review any of these cases? Do you think I got a chance? Or you know I really didn't do it. Then you get them football numbers because they trump up your charges so much that you don't want to spend the rest of your life in jail, especially with a jailhouse lawyer that got slip and slides on that's getting paid $60 per inmate. And so now you got a felony on your record and you really didn't even do nothing, but you got accused of something and you don't want to do the rest of your life in prison. They gave this man possession of a controlled substance and battery and aggravated stalking. Come on, fam. Come on, fam.
The report identified him as a USF student. A spokesperson from USF says he is no longer enrolled as of this summer. He was a PhD student in the chemistry department.
If people...
And think about it. You know what makes it even worse, and you know why they need to make an example of him? Is because this was a person that was possibly going to be super successful. He was a PhD student, and he was probably going to be incredibly successful, and he was also going to be serving the public. That's what make it wild, is that when you go over to your doctor or when you go over into your lawyer or when you go over into this professional or he wind up being a person that is putting together some kind of, substance or whatever it is. He works for some pharmaceutical company. This guy is probably going to be leveling up and getting to the highest levels of whatever it is if this man didn't put a camera in his little fake plant. That these are the things that people do behind the scenes and that they have in a past that you can't uncover because they never got caught from it. And so this is why I say that character matter just as much as getting to the bag. You can teach somebody how to get to the bag. You can tell them how they can be successful. But if you don't develop the character that go along with it, then you then are going to become more of a supervillain instead of a person that actually adds value into society. Getting the bag alone does not actually substantiate you actually have a good character as a result of it.
Use their knowledge, this extreme knowledge, to harm people. I mean, they can be even more dangerous.
Umar says he was told Zooming is in the process of relocating, but they're still very uneasy, never thinking their home would become a place they now fear.
I can never expect a neighbor. I mean, I can never imagine to expect something like that happen to anyone. I wish no one else would have to go through a situation like this ever in their life.
Let me pull this up. I want to show y'all something. Give me a second. Give me 1 second. I'm going to pull this up for y'all. I want to go into details. I don't want this to just be one-sided. I want to go into full details. Give me 1 second. I want to pull up the details of this. Because this is disrespectful. This is egregious. In no way should any person be subjected to it at all. I'm going to be reading the super chat shortly. Give me a second. Ex-chemistry student accused of injecting opioid under a neighbor's door used the university lab to mix dangerous toxins. Let's continue. It goes on to say, charged with injecting opioids under his neighbor's front door because of a noisy toilet seat. A noisy toilet seat is the reason that he gave as to why he injected a toxic opioid under his neighbor's door, because of a noisy toilet seat. Used the laboratory at his university to carefully mix the dangerous toxins. Zooming Lee, 36, used the lab at the University of South Florida's campus to mix and load liquid syringes on multiple occasions with the intent to harm residents of the condominium. Lee was a PhD chemistry student at the university until the summer of 2023. The chemist was arrested on June 27th after his neighbor caught him on a hidden camera. Hold on. Squirting a clear liquid into the crack of the door frame. Goes on to say a hazmat test revealed the liquid chemical agent contained a combination of methadone and hydrocodone, both opioid painkiller pain medications. Word of the shocking poisons sent other residents of the Oxford Place at Tampa Palms into a state of panic. According to the suit, which seeks to boot Lee and his co-owner roommate from the complex. That's crazy. Abdullah said that he and his pregnant wife and their young daughter moved into the complex directly above Lee in 2022. Lee soon began sending angry texts to his new neighbors, complaining that he was losing sleep over the sound of his toilet seat clanging. Soon after, the family suddenly began experiencing unexplained bouts of nausea and dizziness. I looked at my daughter. Her eyes were full of tears, and she was not crying, but her eyes were full of tears. Family friend first noticed the chemical odor while grabbing a package for them while they were away on vacation. Abdullah then noticed the scent and suspected an issue with his water heater. However, a stench persisted after he replaced the appliance and had his air ducts and vents cleaned. Desperate for a resolution, he called the fire department, who conducted tests but found nothing amiss. Wow, this dude was going to get away with it. Never thought about all of this, that no. I'm just imagining this. No. He eventually noticed a small crack in his doorway, began to suspect his disgruntled neighbor. After falling ill again, he set up a hidden camera outside of his door, was shocked to see Lee crouching down and emptying a syringe under his front door, and said, "We were shaking." He needs to be charged with way more than that. He needs to be charged with way more than that. Gosh, that's crazy. That's insane. But we living in the end of times, baby. We living in the end of times, baby. It's getting bad out here. It's getting very, very bad out here.